Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another episode of Nerd Up. This week we have CJ Tatum.
Hi, everybody.
Stephen Bright.
Hello.
And for the first time, the filthy casual herself, Catherine Reed, back from boot camp.
That's me. Hello.
Yep. Katie Reed is back on a brief stay between boot camp and what's the next thing, Katie?
Marine combat training.
Marine combat training.
She'll learn how to kill you.
Yeah, they already taught us that, but I don't know.
She can already beat everybody at the table in a fight. I'm excited to see where she goes from there.
My brother got a shirt at the little gift shop on Paris Island that said, "My sister can kick your sister's ass. She's a Marine." I was like, well, hold on now. Like, let's not get hasty. Let's not be cocky now.
Yep. And for those of you that have never met Katie Reed, she's this tiny little blonde person. So the fact that she's a Marine is just extra awesome.
They won't see it coming.
Exactly. She's just out of nowhere. She'll Ronda Rousey you. All right.
She'll be like the League of Legends character that is just tiny, but she has a giant bazooka.
Pretty much like any anime character.
There you go. So before we get into anything nerdy, Katie has a particularly funny story from boot camp that she wants to share with the listeners. All right, Katie, the microphone is yours.
Oh, really? Okay, this is fun. Let's see. All right, so while at boot camp, we got like a platoon of about 60 girls, right? And like in the first couple of weeks, a lot of the drill instructors could pretty much pick out like who they didn't want. Like there's girls you can tell like it's like why are you here? And so they would like find any reason to get them dropped to a different platoon. Well, there was one girl in our platoon. Her name was Fajardo, and she was really cool and she was really nice. But she obviously like didn't know what she was doing. Like she was really slow and she never got online and she wouldn't sound off. So come rifle week, we're on the range and they're super big on safety. Right? And the first person who flags the line, like, should I explain what that is?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so pretty much, if you flag the line while you're on the range, you basically just aimed your weapon at everyone. So that's really bad, obviously. And she was the first one to do it. She just flags the whole line with a weapon, and so they drop her. But they couldn't just, like, kick her out and, like, go on, like, right away. She had to go with us every single day to the range. Until they officially like moved her on. Well, it's funny because while she was standing out there, all the drill instructors, they're pretty much just fucking with. Is it okay to cuss on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh God.
Yes,
like there are children in the audience. You're terrible.
If there are, they have long since been scared off the Podzilla 1985 network.
Okay, good.
You go right
good.
on ahead.
But yeah, so basically they're just fucking with her, and she's standing there, and one of the drill instructors, Sergeant, I wonder if it's like. Yeah. So drill instructor Sergeant Ortiz, she's hilarious. She's like, Fajardo, you're going to get somebody killed someday. And she's like, Fajardo, we're going to do a test. So she leans over and she grabs a rock and she's like, this is a grenade. And she throws it in front of Fajardo and Fajardo just sits there and looks at it. And she's like, you're dead, Fajardo. Why? That's a grenade. Like, why wouldn't you move? Okay, we're going to do it again. So she grabs another rock and she throws it in front of her. And Fajardo just like looks at it and she takes this really half-assed step to the left and just kind of looks at it still. And she's like, Fajardo, what's the kill radius of a grenade? Oh, and something about Fajardo. She's Hispanic. She has a really thick accent. So she's like, 5 meters, ma'am. And she's like, you're dead again, Fajardo. She's like, Fajardo, just sit there and yell clear. Tell everyone that the grenade's out. Yell clear. And she goes, clear. No, louder, Fajardo. Clear. Louder. Clear. And she's like, no, yell it longer and louder. And so like we're sitting on the range or we're sitting on the line just like busting up laughing because she's on the side over here going, clear, clear. It's so funny. Like her accent was so thick. Like at night when we got mail, you had to say all mail received, I ma'am, good evening, ladies. So Fajardo would come up and she'd slap her hands like she'd grab and she'd go, all mail received, I ma'am, good evening, ladies. Like her accent was outrageous. But yeah, like for the rest of boot camp, we would just sit there online and look at each other going, clear, clear. She was really nice. I'm sad she got dropped, but she didn't really seem to be with the program, you know. And if she's gonna flag people with a weapon,
yeah, she didn't seem to need to be there.
Yeah, she did. She was not Marine material. Yep. Every time that Katie tells me that, every time I hear that story from Katie, I am a big fan of it, and I just imagine Consuela from Family Guy, and just this like pudgy old Hispanic woman holding a weapon, and then looking at the rock. She's like, no, he's a no rock. He's a no grenade. He's a rock.
He's rock.
No.
I know Runway.
I know
Clear.
Ron. He's Isaac.
Yeah, she pretty much
Clear.
is a Consuela. She like her accent was just so thick. It's funny.
It's so great. So yeah, ever since we
Taking
just
that
occasionally
taking that slow half-ass step back.
Yeah,
it's
like
a very
she-
Consuela move right there.
She listed lazily to the left. Like, it was great though.
So we've just been saying clear, like
Clear.
it's hilarious. It's a good time. All right, so on to the nerdy stuff.
There we go.
For those of you that are unaware, shame on you. PAX Prime is happening. That's the big thing going on this weekend. It's one of the biggest video game / nerd conventions in the country.
Why did you look at me? It was like, for those of you that don't know.
Because you're across the table from me,
You.
Steven. Congratulations, you're in the Krista seat. She normally gets that stare.
I feel bad for her now.
What, you don't like staring at me?
It's
No.
not that.
His face.
I don't
It's
think
just
it
I get
does.
intimidated really easy.
He's like, I don't know what to say. I just.
I'm lost for words.
Oh yeah, because this is the me and Shannon thing too. I'm always whenever Shannon's hosting a show.
Do you stare
You're
into each
across
other's
from-
eyes?
Occasionally, yeah.
Aw, that's kind of sweet.
Mostly when we're arguing about whatever we're arguing about. But yeah, that's moving on, Steven. Thank you. Anyway, PAX Prime is happening. A couple of things that have come out of that, and even not so much out of PAX Prime. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, we're all big fans of amiibos around here. Katie maybe not so much because she's been gone for the last 3 months, but
I
she's...
don't have any Nintendo things anymore, except my 3DS.
I was about to say, you still have it's a Pikachu one, right?
Yeah,
You
I
still
love
have
my
that one?
Pikachu on.
There you go. And she has one of the ultra rare Pikachu 3DS XLs.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Amiibo's Shovel Knight. Like, Nintendo is really leaning into the whole indie game thing, probably because every AAA developer out there has noped the fuck out of Nintendo's realm, which is why you don't see any AAA games coming for Nintendo ever. So, yeah, they're leaning hard into indie games because they're actually, making games to be released. And one of the big ones is Shovel Knight. That's been a big one for Nintendo for a while now. It's a very popular game, really fun. I know Steven over there has put a bit of time into it.
Yeah, I know for the Nintendo version of Shovel Knight, they didn't really have any extra goodies from the Steam version. They just had the base game. And Xbox, PlayStation, they all got extra levels, extra bosses to fight. So Nintendo people kind of got stiffed in that area. So I think the amiibo is to unlock extra content in the game.
And also, from my understanding, for the first time in Shovel Knight, the amiibo will get you co-op play.
Oh, nice.
Neat.
Is what I heard about it. And then there was a big rumor going around that the Shovel Knight was going to be in Super Smash Brothers. There was a leaked image of the prototype for the Shovel Knight amiibo that had the base with the Smash logo on it. That is not the case now. PAX Prime, they showed off the amiibo itself, and you got a good look at the base, and it's this purple Yacht Club logo. Yacht Club being the developers behind Shovel Knight. So yeah, it's really cool. They did a whole thing at PAX Prime. Nintendo did with a bunch of indie games they've got coming up. A lot of them look kind of cool. So yeah, hopefully that'll really move stuff forward for Nintendo as they rapidly head towards their next gen console, so they can try and keep up.
Did you hear about the patent for the next-gen console?
Yeah, they filed a bunch of patents for, like, Wi-Fi services, like all the online multiplayer patents they've just recently filed.
And it looks like there's no disk drive in there, so...
The first diskless console.
Yeah.
That I didn't hear about.
Download only.
I don't like that.
A lot of people
don't
are
really like that either.
A lot of people aren't going to like that. This is the first time hearing about that. Like,
That just sounds like when Microsoft tried to make Xbox One not play pre-owned games again, but that just doesn't have discs. Like, is that just me? Maybe I don't.
well,
I mean, a lot of people in this country still don't have access to high-speed internet,
nope.
so it's gonna preclude them
Google
having.
Fiber,
I
hurry!
was about to say three
it's-
people either do now, like the other three people at this table either do now or have at one point in the recent past not had access to high-speed internet at
Oh
home.
yeah, and I know that pain. I know that pain, and
Freaking Earthlink.
it would definitely turn me off of VNX.
Right. Yeah, I really hope they realize that's a terrible idea. If
At
you
least
sell
put
the
the option
system
there.
like cheap, I can see it working out. There have been systems out there like the Ouya, for those of you that remember that. It was
Yeah.
actually a great idea, but the
Not a lot of
execution
games
was...
for it.
Yeah, well, there's a ton of indie games out there, and they're still being developed. Actually, Towerfall was on the
that's
Ouya
right.
before anything else.
Was that the
And Duck
controller
Game.
that you just played with?
No, that was it was like a little cube-looking thing, and it was basically linked up to its own little store, and you could just download indie games. The dev kit was free, and it was a cube that you hooked up to the TV, and then you could sync it had its own controller. You could also do Xbox 360 controllers, PS3 controllers. All of those would sync to it.
Okay, I remember that.
And if I'm not mistaken, one of the requirements to have a game put onto the Ouya marketplace was that you had to have a free demo available
Yes.
to play.
Yeah, and in concept,
You had to let people try it before they bought it.
right.
And I really like that idea.
I was actually
That
a
was nice.
backer on the Kickstarter for Ouya because I thought it was a fantastic idea. It's just, once it finally came out, it couldn't really handle any good-looking games. Just didn't have the power for it, so it was very quickly just outdone. And then you have like Microsoft, Sony, and now even Nintendo are making a huge push towards indie games. There's been a ton of great indie games out there be released on the home consoles. We got to try several of them, Steven and I at RTX. And there's a ton of good stuff happening there, which kind of made the Ouya a little pointless. Other than the fact, and it was also a little expensive for what you were getting. It was $100 was the price point, and it again just didn't have the power there. Though the new Nintendo system, from everything that I've seen, it's supposed to be able to compete with, if not outperform, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. But this is the first I've heard of the no disc thing, which would definitely, I think that would be the nail in the coffin for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because with the backlash that Microsoft got with the whole used game thing and the DRM, I can't imagine Nintendo, like, it would lose its last remaining support.
Yeah, people like to physically own games, I find.
They do. And also, again, people don't always have the access to the internet.
Yeah.
So, like, the Xbox One was going to alienate a huge portion of its
fan
user
base,
base because they couldn't play it. Like, why buy something that you can't play? So hopefully Nintendo figures that out because, there's still a ton of places that don't have internet. And that would hurt sales. And then there's people that just straight up wouldn't buy it because they're not in support of doing shit like that. All right. Moving on from there, the next thing I want to talk about a little bit, Telltale Games is working on a Minecraft story that was open to play at PAX. And apparently it's really fun. Minecraft, obviously massively popular. I've thought for years the hype train would eventually die, but every single little kid that comes into gaming grounds, conveniently located on 709 Broadway for all your video game needs, have proven to me
Shameless
that
plugging.
that's what we do here. Have proven to me that train will never die, and the fact that PewDiePie makes more money than anyone I know just playing Minecraft.
And making weird noises into a microphone.
I've
as he
still
does
never
it.
watched PewDiePie.
It's very much for little kids.
Okay.
I do not like
He has
Hey, that's kind of cool. Like, if it's for kids though, because everyone else that you watch is an adult that cusses a lot, you know.
Yeah.
right. Oh, I think
very-
PewDiePie
That's
still
kinda
does
cool.
occasionally,
Oh.
but I don't know. I've never watched it. But yeah, he does Minecraft. That's why
That's
he's
it.
popular. So a lot of kids love PewDiePie.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's it's looking kind of cool. Like, I'm not too into Minecraft anymore. I had some fun with it. Yes, Katie.
Like, what's the story gonna be? I don't understand. Like, I can't fathom that
I can't.
at all.
I can't.
Is it
wrap my
Steve?
head around
Are you
what
Steve?
kind of
I'm assuming, like, have any of you at the table ever played Minecraft before?
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay, so I mean, you do find like ruins. There's, it looks like there has been civilizations before there, and even in recent patches, they added like the weird simple villagers
Yeah, I've seen
and that kind of thing. And I guess, were I to wager something, like, I'm sure it's probably on the internet exactly what it's about, but I haven't looked it up, so screw you guys. I would say maybe it's a prequel to when your Minecraft character arrives. So, maybe it's like, a town of people, like, or adventurers that have come to wherever Minecraft is, and they've started exploring, and I don't know, maybe they all get blown up by creepers or something. Either way, like, Telltale Games has established themselves as phenomenal storytellers. People have played, like, The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I love
is
Walking Dead.
so good. I know Katie streamed that one, like, at least once.
I loved whenever someone got their leg hurt. I always be like, just walk it off. Like they'd get bit or like they'd chop their leg off. I'm like, just walk it off. That became big.
It's the filthy casual version of "'Tis but a flesh wound."
Ah, yes, yes.
Well, I love the Telltale games. Have any of you played The Wolf Among Us?
No.
Fables Telltale game?
And I really wanted to because I was really into the Fables comic series.
Oh, it's really good.
And I know it's a prequel, and Bigby Wolf is my favorite character.
Yeah. Like, it hits two sweet spots for me. Three, really. It's a Telltale adventure game. 2, it's Fables. And 3, it's a detective story.
Yeah, because for those of you not in the know there, Fables, kind of cool story about, like, fairy tales, like old fairy tales that have kind of moved to our world.
Like Grimm.
Grimm, all fairy tales.
All the old folktale characters from history are real.
Yep. And Bigby Wolf is the sheriff.
And they live in a neighborhood in New York.
Yeah.
And the Big Bad Wolf, also known as Bigby, is the sheriff.
This is kind of embarrassing, but I never really knew what The Wolf Among Us was. I watched someone stream it for 10 minutes,
so good.
and I thought it was an X-Men game because he's so hairy. He looks like
Wolverine.
Wolverine, and it was The Wolf Among Us. I was like, I guess that's what this is. I mean, I guess that's cool. I never knew because I think you loaned me Fables once, but I just it was so long ago. I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Because I remember you. Well, no, you just never got around to reading it, and then
that's probably it.
Yeah, something probably happened, and then you gave it back to me or something. I don't know.
I always get really lazy. I'm like, yes, today's the day. I'm gonna read this thing that person loaned me. Which, by the way, CJ, I'm gonna read that book. Just so you know.
Okay.
10 years later.
Whether you do or not, just please, for the love of God, bring it back.
I can do that. Okay, sorry. Going on.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll all be fine. So yeah. So that looks kind of neat. Not going to be free to play, unlike Guild Wars 2. Catch that segue. Guild Wars 2 is becoming, the core game is being free to play, and they've introduced raids into the game. A lot of people that play Guild Wars 2 and a lot of people that quit Guild Wars 2 quit because there was no end-game content. My understanding is the raids won't be free. You'll have to have a premium subscription to do that, but you'll be able to play the core game for free. Which we were actually talking last night. Katie and CJ were a little bit interested in trying that one out. Steven, I don't know if you've ever tried or even heard of Guild Wars 2.
I heard of it.
It's really pretty looking.
It's really cool.
The thing that drew me toward it was because it sounded like the un-MMO.
Sort of.
The
un-MMO. It didn't have all the MMO things that I hate.
I am and I am not an MMO. Like that?
Yeah.
I am, but I am not.
Just like Destiny.
Hey.
No, Destiny has all the MMO stuff I don't like.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, Bungie keeps saying it's not an MMO. It's not an MMO.
It's an MMO.
No, it's
How
an
many
FPS
people are
RPG.
playing? Millions, and they're online? Yeah. They're playing together? You could say that.
Are there RPG elements? Oh yeah, definitely.
we
so it's a
dabbled in that.
massively multiplayer online role-playing game, correct?
It's more,
Yeah.
it's more of an art
Yeah,
than a
but
game. Let's
Permission
not
to
be
treat
hasty.
the witnesses hostile, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's we won't get into Destiny because Steve and I actually really, really like Destiny and are still playing it, and it's a lot of fun. And fuck you guys. 7 out of 10. Fuck you, Louis. Anyway,
Oh god, that's funny.
so Guild Wars 2 though becoming free to play. I stopped playing it. Me and Shannon actually got really into it for 3 weeks, and I mean Shannon is pretty notorious for getting games and quitting them, which is why I have a policy that I will not buy a game to play with Shannon. I will buy a game to play with Shannon and other people, but I will never buy a game just to play with Shannon. Shannon, I love you, but, and you and I have talked about this. You know what you do. I got bored of this one after 3 weeks as well, though. It wasn't just Shannon wanting to quit. It was one of those things. It was kind of cool because every time you go to a new area, it gives you, a quest just pops up at the top. Kill 10 pigs and bring their tails to this dude.
Why's it gotta be pigs?
Kill 10 cows. What do you want me to say?
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Kill 10 imaginary creatures that won't offend Katie, and
Thank
bring
you.
their body parts to so and so. Instead of World of Warcraft, where you would go to talk to an NPC, they had their little gold exclamation mark, and you get your quest, you go do it. In this one, it just pops up on the screen, and it's kill 10 of these guys, and then you're done. You don't have to do anything else. All the work is done for you. And at first I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. But then I was like, I kind of want to talk to an NPC. And yeah, it just it got boring fast, and then there was no
invested,
right, and there was no in-game content was one of the big problems. And yeah, I guess now they're getting rates, so I might go back and check it out. Who knows? Or no, I won't, because Taken King is coming out soon, and I will probably exclusively be playing Destiny again. Other games that are coming out that look kind of cool. I think this is going to be free to play. I'm a big fan of dungeon crawlers. Anybody that knows me knows that. Diablo is my jam. Marvel Heroes is a lot of fun. I just like dungeon crawlers. They're a good time. Star Wars is getting a dungeon crawler. This is kind of old news, but they did some more gameplay videos at PAX Prime. They released a little bit more information about it. It is supposed to be a in between episode 6 and episode 7, and the developers say that it's a never-ending story. Like it's just going to keep on going. From the sounds of it, and I really hope you just buy the game. It is a mobile only, available for Android and iOS platforms, and hopefully it will be you pay for the game and you get the game, and then they update it as it goes, as opposed to a free-to-play game where you can only play a couple of levels a day, and if you want to get anywhere meaningful, you have to pay for stuff.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah, because while I'm not opposed to mobile gaming, I do like mobile games. I am opposed to pay-to-win games. Hate that.
We're all over here like, here, yes, her.
They're raising their goblets.
But what about pay to keep playing? Like to buy the new chapters of each character's story?
I play Destiny, don't I?
Oh, that's true.
You do that in Destiny?
Sort of. They've released DLC packs, and one of the big things that was a big complaint in Destiny... Again, guys, Katie's been gone for a little while.
Where are we?
So the way Destiny worked with the DLC stuff, there's a lot of like weekly rotation stuff, a lot of bounties, a lot of missions you can just do each week and each day even that are really cool. But occasionally what goes into the rotation is the new content from the DLC packs. And the DLC packs are $15 a piece. Oh. They add a bunch of extra story missions. They add a bunch of extra content, items, lore, etc. But if you didn't buy that, then there would be weeks where you can't do some of like the weekly missions because it's stuff from the new DLC.
Oh.
And a lot of people were really, really upset about that, and understandably, because now there's something in the game they can't play because they didn't buy the new stuff.
Yeah.
And, on one hand, I can understand their plight. On the other hand, I got the collector's edition. It all came out, so I'm not complaining. And the new content... You should have
bought the collectors. I don't know what the problem is.
And the new content each time has been worth it. The Crota raid was way better than Vault of Glass, like the Dark Below.
Really?
So is it like they just keep coming out with new stuff and it's constantly
glitches-wise, yeah, probably, but...
I had more fun with it, and I honestly... Okay, Jesus Minotaur. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say to you, Stephen Bright.
The image that just popped in my mind is crazy.
It's a stone rolling away from the entrance of a cave and a Minotaur just stomping his way out. I have returned.
And he's Caucasian with long brown hair, right?
Blonde.
Brown. A Caucasian Minotaur.
White Jesus is blonde.
White Jesus is not blonde.
No, he's brown.
He's definitely
a brunette. He's a dirty blonde. Let's just agree he's a dirty blonde.
Okay, he's a dirty blonde.
I will not concede anything to CJ Tatum.
I just imagine a Minotaur up on a cross. What the hell?
I'll explain the Jesus Minotaur later. It's too long.
That's going to be my new religion.
You have to be there.
Jesus Christ Minotaur instead of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Jesus Christ Minotaur.
I wonder if that exists on the internet somewhere. Of just clips of people trying to kill the Jesus Minotaur.
Oh my god.
That would be awesome. If not, we have to make it.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, and then the House of Wolves DLC, the next one to come out is
by far the best.
Oh yeah, it made so many improvements on the game, just quality of life stuff, and then it added a horde mode, which Prison of Elders is what it's called, and I love Prison of Elders. It's a ton of fun. And you don't have to have a full team of 6 people trying to coordinate their efforts, which is what made the raids really hard. And then the Taken King is the new DLC coming out, and it's sort of a DLC. It's actually sequels done right, in my opinion, and people that disagree with me can go fuck themselves. I'm talking to you, CJ. Anyway, no, Taken King it's going to be $40 for that expansion, but it's adding, like, it's more than tripling the amount of story. It's adding a ton of new stuff. It's increasing the level, like doubling the level cap and changing the leveling system. I will totally play Destiny with you because it's a lot of fun. But yeah, Taken King looks awesome, and I don't know why people are bitching about the $40 price tag for the DLC, because it's... Would you rather them just call it Destiny 2 and put a $60 price tag on there? That's my question to you haters. It's my question to you.
And then you drop the microphone.
Except I'm not going to, because I paid for these microphones and they ain't cheap.
But pretend he's dropping them. That's how serious he is.
Exactly, yes. You pretend. Katie, will you give me a microphone dropping noise, please?
I'm on the spot, right? Yeah.
Good.
All right, go ahead, CJ. Go ahead. That was weak as shit. All right.
It's a light microphone.
We didn't pay money for this light one, so we can afford to drop it.
I didn't say it was a real microphone. It's one of those cardboard things you buy at a dollar store.
Oh, okay, I see.
It's a little Microsoft headset microphone.
Vibraphone things.
Oh, like, you know, when you're a little kid, you talk into it and it kind of like makes your voice sound kind of weird. And
Yeah. You're talking to it, it's like, whoa. It was one of those things. So
I was always so
it's all I had
with
on
those
hand,
toys.
Jesse.
It's all you had on hand. Okay. All right. Whatever. Oh, and something I'm kind of excited about that I just saw in here. Apparently you can now register for Battleborn's technical test.
Ooh.
And I'm really excited for Battleborn.
I need to do
What
that
is
as soon as I
what
can.
is those?
Yeah.
Gearbox Games, the guys that make Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
They're making a MOBA style, like a cross between like Team Fortress 2 meets MOBA. But it, Borderlands style, and it's called Battleborn, and it looks really cool. After the show, yes, after the show, I'll show you guys the trailer because, typical of Gearbox Games, the trailer is awesome because they're just great at picking out music to really go with what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I love the trailer so much. I can watch it over and over again. And Steven's over there just like looking all giddy because he's really excited about it. And I really want to play this game. It's got a ton of different character classes. One of the ones that looks really cool is this like mushroom assassin guy.
I just imagine Toad with like some knives.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Just more badass looking.
That's
Except,
cool.
like Toad, but really tall. And like, imagine the mushroom top look more like a Japanese hat, like one of those like straw hats.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's a neat integration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
like a
actual
samurai.
clothing and nature
Yeah.
to make the mushroom top his whatever they're
Like
called.
Fantasia.
It's really cool. Like I'm actually really excited for the game. Oh, hey, we didn't finish talking about Star Wars Uprising.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Oh,
I wanted to mention that I really do like if it actually plans out the way that you've described just now. I really do like that storytelling like methodology.
Because-
You pick a character, and that character's story just keeps going. It's the comic book. It's the comic book method.
Right.
There's no end game. You just live the story of this character, and there are arcs and stuff and everything
Until
like
it
that.
gets so ridiculous that you have to reboot it.
Yeah, there'll be a reboot in a couple of years, and it won't be as good, but it'll still
Or
be
it could be better. There have been really good reboots in the past.
That's true.
And listen to Marvelous Jesse and Chris. We did a whole show on events and reboots. Anyway, it looks really cool. I actually am excited to play it because, again, I do like dungeon crawlers. They are releasing it in chapters. They haven't said if you have to pay for additional chapters or how that's going to work or if it's going to be microtransactions. But the first chapter has like 40 levels of gameplay, and you can actually play with your friends just, on mobile. I really hope it has controller support and I can hook up my Bluetooth controller. Then I don't have to deal with the fucking touchscreen bullshit. I hate touchscreens. For controls anyway.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's a puzzle game or something like that. Like, if it requires me to press buttons on the screen, no me gusta.
You had a Vita, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever play the Uncharted Vita game?
No.
Oh,
It was
you had to
actually
use
really
those
good.
back touch panels a lot.
I liked using that. It was kind of cool, but kind of lazy too. Like, in the game, it's not like hard. Like when he's climbing up, you can see like, kind of like Assassin's Creed or a game where like you could see you're climbing a wall and there's like bricks protruding. It's like, oh, well, obviously that's the path I have to take. Well, you would just sit there and like, hold down the D-pad, or you could just sit there and highlight all the bricks, and he would just climb up them. So I just would like highlight all the bricks and then leave it. It's kind of lazy, but I like it. Was like, oh, okay.
That's kind of neat. Yeah.
I did own that game, sort of.
It was a good one. I liked the Vita one.
Like, do you remember how I got my Vita?
I know.
Theft?
I don't, but I know. Wait, shut up. No.
I actually did buy a Vita originally, mostly because of Katie here. She had her Vita and she was showing it to me, and I was like, oh, God.
That's probably the game I was selling to you then was Uncharted.
I think you were actually playing Wipeout.
Oh, Wipeout was fun, too. I got really good at Wipeout.
And I was sitting there looking at like this Vita, and the amount of gadget envy I felt was too real.
Aww.
So I bought a Vita, and I got it, and I got a couple of games I could play with Katie. Like, we were playing Wipeout together a little bit, and I got like Hot Shots Golf. You sold your Vita. Well, remember, you got the Assassin's Creed system.
Yeah, that's right, because the white one was really pretty.
Well, what ended up happening, like 3 weeks after I got my Vita, John and I, back at the old store that can't be named on this show, so it doesn't get John in trouble somehow, we had a managers conference, and we went there, and they did a training thing from Sony.
Oh,
and at the end of the training, they gave us all Vitas. And
so cool.
Yeah, they gave us Vitas with memory cards.
Wow.
You got like 3 games.
Yeah, we got a bunch of digital games, and I didn't redeem any of the digital games. I just never did. And by the time I finally remembered to do it, they were expired.
Oh.
And it was the Uncharted Vita game and the Metal Gear collection for Vita. Not nice, Steven, because there were free games that I missed out on because I'm a procrastinator. Yeah, so that happened. Missed out on some cool free games. But, yeah, I do still have the Vita, despite the fact that it's a legacy platform now. Yeah, I remember Katie actually traded in her Vita and paid a little extra so that she could get the Assassin's Creed one because it was white and very pretty.
It was pretty.
And that was before we realized that Assassin's Creed was going to go so hard to shit.
Yeah, like
Speaking
after
of
the
Assassin's
third one.
Creed, do you know that the Assassin's Creed movie is actually happening?
Yeah.
You know who's starring in that?
That sexy English
Michael
guy.
Fassbender.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did not
Wow.
know that.
Is
that
that
was-
not?
I'm actually kind of excited about that because I'm a big fan of his.
I thought it was the guy who he was in like Prometheus and
That's him.
Inglourious Bastards. That's his name?
Michael
I'm not good
Fassbender.
with actor names.
Yeah, that's him, though.
Oh, I'm okay with that. He's sexy.
So yeah, he's we don't know. Like, it's going to be a wholly original story, so it's not going to be based on the game. It's just going to be kind of in the universe of
That's
the game.
fine with me. Like,
Yeah, I really hope they just take out the whole Animus feature in general and just show us a movie of an assassin.
An
Yeah,
assassin.
I'm hoping that'll be how it goes. But he's also doing Macbeth this year.
Yeah. So I don't know. But they did show him in costume, and the costume is like an interesting amalgam of
A whole bunch of different
assassins. Because it looks like the hood looks like Ezio's hood from Revelations. He's wearing like the sash from Assassin's Creed 1 that Altair wore. He looks like he has like a Native American dress sort of thing for the actual like coat.
Gross.
It's weird. I'm not sure what's
they
going
don't
on.
have. They shouldn't do anything from Assassin's Creed 3. That's all I have.
And he has like the double twin blades, so it's after the
Two.
Ezio series for sure.
That's right.
Because that was not a thing before Ezio in the Assassin's Creed lore.
So,
Yeah.
That's still my favorite one. Is Assassin's Creed 2.
Mine
It
as
was
well.
so good.
Like the whole trilogy was really good. Like I enjoyed all 3 of them.
Yeah,
I liked Assassin's Creed 3 a lot.
You did?
I couldn't get over Connor.
I wanted to slap him.
Haters gonna hate.
If you kept playing as Hatham, that'd been the best game ever. I loved Hatham. He is so cool.
Yeah.
They really should have made that game about Hatham, but
How you like
instead
them apples?
you got the fucking Hayden Christensen of the Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
series.
he was moody, but the game was really fun.
I would have liked it more. Like I thought it seemed really cool that you could go through the forest and like you could climb on the trees, but then they're all just the same trees, and I always had trouble finding which one you could climb up. And then I like the second one because you're in that huge like Renaissance time, or in the Renaissance time, and these huge cathedrals and bell towers is so pretty, and like the outfits that they wore were so cool. And then you go to like this little shit town colonial place with like the tallest thing is like kind of a church tower, and I was like, that's not cool. Like, that's not very exciting.
That was definitely a downside to Assassin's
Yeah, I
Creed
feel
3
like
because
the
I love
forest
the
was-
climbing thing.
I feel like the forest was really designed to make up for that, but maybe didn't
But
quite
like
deliver.
they're all just trees. They're not. Yeah. They're just. I'm like this.
Tree. Oh no! My favorite thing to do in Assassin's Creed 3 was to sit in a tree and wait for a redcoat patrol to pass under me, and just like drop down and ruin their shit.
I thought you were gonna say like wait for like a bear. Like I'm gonna get you, bear. Like
no. I steered clear of the bears if possible.
Oh my god!
But see, the ruining of the shit was so much better in Assassin's Creed 2, especially Brotherhood. The ruining of the shit,
like the rope hook, like just. I'm on a branch and I throw like this like freaking Kirai thing into the ankle of one of the British soldiers, and then I drop down and he's hanging by his ankle. Then I kill the rest of his friends.
See, I did like fighting in Assassin's Creed 3 a lot, and when they would stop and do the little kind of cutscene for it, I never knew how to. I think I would have liked it a little more if I wouldn't have had that gamer. You know, we all have that mentality where like I've played games before, and you just skip through the instructions on everything. Yeah. So then when it actually comes time to do it, you're like, God damn it, why is this so hard? Yeah. And like I could never do the cool stuff unless I just happened to do it, and I was like, God damn.
Yeah. And in Assassin's Creed 2, like the Ezio trilogy in general, like I was one of those like parry whores.
Oh yeah,
like I would just
That's
block.
the only way to fight in those games.
It was so good,
parry kill.
Especially like when they added the like the super target feature in Brotherhood, where basically like once you did one like super kill with a parry, you just point in the direction of another person. You just chain like the murder, and it was beautiful and awesome. And I just remember one of my favorite things to do in that game series was like after I killed an entire army of people because parrying was way overpowered. One of them, you know, would have inevitably had a spear. And I would pick up the spear. And there would be the last guy that's like, I give up. I quit. I'm running away. And I would grab the spear. No, not stab.
He'd chuck it at him. Yeah.
Javelin toss. And then the guy's like running away. He's like, no. And then you see him just take a spear right between the shoulder blades. Just, and then like launches forward. And it was the best. I loved that so much.
And then everyone just runs away like, well...
I've got to revisit this series.
Yeah.
And like the Ezio trilogy is great. Definitely worth playing, but
so
I did not like 3.
Yeah, 4 definitely made up for 3, in my opinion, just because they focus more on the exploration with the Navy and being captain of the ship. That was really fun.
I'm captain of the Queen's Navy.
That was really fun, but me being a person that really likes story in video games, shout out to Stephanie, is after Assassin's Creed 3, I didn't see the point in making any more Assassin's Creed games because the story was over.
Yeah, I was really confused by the story by the end.
Yeah, apparently in Assassin's Creed 4, the way that works, you're playing a video game, or you're designing a video game based on the memories of Desmond's ancestors.
Aren't the people you were with in the first games working like for Abstergo?
Yeah, you're working. Yeah. You're working for Abstergo.
Like that's in the beginning of the game. So if anyone else hasn't played it as well, like I don't think that's like a spoilery thing.
In number 4, that you're like
Sean is there
persona,
and Rebecca's there.
Yeah, in your present day persona in 4, you're working with Abstergo, testing out a video game that they're making. About Ezio's ancestors.
Yeah,
that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean.
Maybe I'll
it's a kind of interesting way to throw back. What I really wish, like after Assassin's Creed 3 finished, I wish that they would have just made self-contained single Assassin's Creed games where you don't deal with the future at all. You just play as, you know, one of the stories of the assassins.
Actually just, you know, skip the whole present day thing and actually just focused on the, you know, French Revolution time period. Like you never played in the future, but you know.
Do you remember in the second game when to get like that special final armor, you had to like go to that secret chamber underneath the manor?
Yeah.
And I liked all those statues. You saw the statues of like past assassins, and they all had different methods. Like there was a woman one with like snakes. So I was like, I wonder if she used like venom or something or poison. Like it's her assassin tool, and they all had like a specific tool. Like
but all the assassins we've played have just stuck with the old wrist blade.
Yeah, they're like we're in the like present now. We've got guns and crossbows. You don't even need to get close. You're like, but I really like my blade. Like it's really more tradition at this point.
It's honestly it's more fun anyway because you just walk up behind somebody and you're like, and then you just keep walking. You're like, that guy died.
When the first one came out, a guy at my high school, we were still in high school, right? So we're all kids and all that good stuff. And I remember like I hadn't played it, and a kid in my school, he like came up to me. And he was telling his friends about Assassin's Creed, and it just kind of threw me. It was funny, but it threw me off. He just came up to me and he pretended to stab me. And he goes, "Shh." And he like grabbed me. He was like doing that thing where he like tells him like, just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. And I was like, what is happening? And he just like put me on the floor and he's like, you're dead. It's like, oh, okay. It was fun.
I am vanquished.
I'm dead. Heaven's fucking weird.
I'm still at school. I think I just went to hell. Like they just left me here.
All right. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for Nerd Up today.
Aww.
What?
Oh no, you're okay. I just was sad.
We're at time. I'm glad you enjoyed your time with us.
I did. This is fun.
All right. Well, for CJ, Steven, the Filthy Casual, and myself, have a good night, guys.
Clear.
Bye.